Hey guys, Roger Hayer, Rosie Hayer, and Brittany Daly.
Hi.
Gosh, you'd figure out some of that intro.
I like the intros. You
And
gotta
you're
keep
in a very festive mood today. You're like so happy today, Bree. What's going on?
um nothing. I don't know. I'm not always this happy. Actually, you know what? I think I know why I'm happy.
What's
Because
going
I just got the closing disclosure back for one of my clients and
on?
they're getting $2,800 back at closing.
Oh,
Zero down, $2,800 back.
wow.
Yeah.
And these were and these were the people who were apparently in such a bind that move was not possible for them. But we were just discussing
What's that, Rosie?
we were just discussing before the call that when it's meant to be, nothing gets in the way. I mean, literally everything conspires for this moment to occur.
Hey, is there something that happened in real estate? So this was really good. They got $2,800 they weren't expecting. I mean, that's jackpot. I love it. I love that. And that makes me think, like, are there any other things that y'all have heard recently in real estate that just captivated you and you're like, man, that's really good. I like that. Or I want to know more about that, or I want to get people's insight on it, or this is something we should talk about. Does something like that occur for you, Rosie?
It occurs for me all the time.
I I have something that occurred for me, but I'd love to know from both of you.
She told me not to make RBF today.
I hope everyone knows what that means.
Roger Brittany famous show.
Roger Brittany face.
That's what she told me. She said, Rosie, don't make Roger Brittany face. I said, what does that mean? She said, RBF.
No, it's just your intensity, right? So, hey, so Bree, you were going to share something. Like when I said that immediately, I feel like you were going to say something.
Okay, remember, Rosie, what we were talking about the other day with these builders building communities that are built to rent.
Yeah.
And it
So-
was interesting because
So what this is her best attempt at prompting me on a question.
Mhm.
I rate it 2 out of 10, but that's okay. I'll take it today. So we work with investors, and part of the reason I like working with investors, I know I keep saying investor. We work with all kind of people. We
I
work
think
with
everybody becomes an investor.
you buy a real estate, you're investing in real estate. I don't care you're buying a homestead or whatever, it's investment.
Yep.
Your home is your investment, okay? So I'm just gonna roll with that terminology for now. So we were talking to investors and they were like, they've been working with us since 2019 and stuff. And in 2019, they bought some good real estate and we told them to buy more and they didn't because life happens, family happens. They had other priorities, which we understand. And then they were like, Rosie, why should we buy again? Is it a good time? Is it good? It's going to go further down. And Bria and I were on the call on this Saturday. I should not be disclosing so much. But anyways, so we are actually talking to investors again tonight about all of this. And one of the things I think that people are not reading the pattern on is this. People were asking, well, Rosie, do you think the market is going to go up or is it the rock bottom? I said, let me share with you why this is a rock bottom. And I'm going to share with you the signal on why it's going to go back up, right? Can we agree on one thing, that builders own the biggest market share of building homes? If builders stop building, a normal homeowner is not going to start building a home. The whole reason we have housing market is because builders pump in a lot of inventory, right? Custom home builders, economy builders, mid-size custom home builders as well, right? We have different type people building homes. So we know there are communities out in Tomball, Texas, and in Austin, Texas, where builders are building homes to rent. So let me ask you a question, a common sense question. If somebody has equity in a deal and they're not able to sell the property at the highest market value right now, do people still force themselves to sell or do they rent?
If someone repeat the question. No, I swear to God, this is exactly what we were talking about. It just,
Depends on the person, but rent.
huh? See,
Am
you
I-
gonna say I'm not listening. You get a good kick out of this.
I
On
think
my dime, she's having a
we're
good
both
kick out of it.
losing right now.
Huh?
I think
There you go again.
right
That's
now.
like 3 times. Does everyone else hear what Brittany's saying?
Bree, you answered it right. They choose to rent. So if builders are building communities to rent, that means they're saying that we're not wanting to give our asset away cheap right now because of affordability issue. Let us just sell the properties up for rent and later on we'll convert it to potential sale. So if builders are building properties right now to rent because they don't want to give away their properties they have built and they anticipate they can do it at a better price later, isn't it indicative of the fact that we are at the lowest point in the market?
You know what I really realized about all of that? And maybe, okay, you're going somewhere, so take me there.
You have
It's
arrived.
indicative of the lowest point in the market because they're building
To rent.
rent to own, or sorry, rental properties, single family
Builders
rental.
are building to rent, which has never happened in history before.
That's correct. I think it's happening for a couple of different reasons. There's a need in the marketplace also for an alternative to multifamily dense apartment living. So maybe the builders are thinking to themselves, that's not the only product that we need to offer. We need to offer something that people will also enjoy using, which is a single family home. So the communities they're building look like neighborhoods, but they're specifically made to rent out, right? So it looks like a normal neighborhood, single family homes. They take care of all the landscaping and everything else, and they go in there and they rent all of these houses out because there's a need for people to want to live in that much space. They don't want to be on top of each other, 3 stories, like a 3 story.
I think that's a good, I think that's novel. Yes, it's possible. It's possible because the builder is like, hey, why only rent apartment complex when there's so
Because
much
they're
inventory?
not buying single family homes and turning them into rentals. They're building neighborhoods and then renting them out.
There's single family neighborhoods
Yeah.
that are built to rent. So what they're saying is that, okay, there's enough apartment complexes out there. Let's create a novel product of renting that can be sold later as well.
Can be sold later. I think that's the biggest thing.
Biggest
They're
thing.
something that can be sold later because they do project the market going back up again.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So if that's the case, shouldn't investors be buying right now to rent and sell later?
Yep.
The biggest builder, the biggest buyer in the market is doing it. Why are we not doing it? This is your proof. Don't listen to TikTok and Instagram. Today, I came from networking with over 16 realtors in a zip code where we are showcasing our properties and we're exposing our properties for more eyes on them. And I asked them, I said, guys, is it that buyers are taking forever to stretch out of the bed to get in the car and look at a home, or it's us? They said there's so much uncertainty in the market that they are receiving from social media that they're just afraid.
Mhm.
I said, what are they afraid of? They said they're afraid of something that can happen, and that might not ever happen. So, how much louder is our confidence than social media's doubt? Is what's determining the game right now.
Yeah.
Every day, people are going to sleep scrolling.
That's the problem. The fear is holding them hostage. And really, the fear is costing them
Let's
ultimately.
talk about that. Let's talk about that because now the question comes to mind, is their fear valid? And that doesn't necessarily mean is there something happening in the marketplace or not, but are they right to fear investing and spending their money? And what are the things that can anchor confidence? And immediately in my mind is the principle of it's all in the buy. Like I know investors use this kind of catchphrase, it's all in the buy. So if you're buying it now, which is a slump in the market, and it makes sense, it'll only make more sense in a good market. Like I know we can say, would you say this is a good market or a bad market?
A good market to buy.
A good market. I love it. It's
I
exactly
think
right.
it is valid. Everyone, like if you're fearful, your fear can be valid, right? You don't know, you have uncertainty, but I think without taking, actually, you know what I do find interesting? There's fear now, but there wasn't fear when people were literally handing out cash of up to over 100K over asking price. There was no fear there.
Mhm.
That fascinates me. That fascinates me that now that you can buy property so much cheaper and you can take 100K off the list price, you can buy a property that has over 100K price adjustment, and there
There's
is fear.
competition. There is
But there
competition.
was a very beautiful point made. I really appreciate
That's a
this point.
really good one.
Yeah, but there was no fear when we were throwing 100K over on the property. It was like people have more. You know what it tells me? That human behavior is driven by dopamine. Throwing money at the property has the same impact as gambling, and it feels like dopamine.
You
But
know
when
what?
you're
It's the
losing money
competition. It's the
in a poker
competition.
game, yeah,
They're competing against other homeowners or other people who are looking to buy, and so the winning bid takes all. You know,
you know what it is? It has the same effect as auction effect
auction.
because there's demonstration of value, which means somebody else is willing to offer a little less than me. It means the value for the home is proven in eyes of a buyer at that value. So if somebody is willing to offer up to 520 on a 450 home, and you say, hey, if we go up to 500, do we have a chance? And the realtor says, well, I'm afraid that you don't. So they're going to offer 520 because they now hear that there's already a demonstration of value up to 500 by another buyer. So I am taking a risk just a little bit more than someone else. In essence, they're taking risk from the list price all the way to the accepted
Well,
bid.
I was looking at a seller whose property he bought in 2022 for 449, and if he was to go sell today, he could sell it for 449. And so in his neighborhood, in that little pocket, it hasn't appreciated any, and he needs to sell. So if you go talk to him, he's going to say the market's not doing so good. But if you go talk to someone else who just picked up a house at a really good price, he's like, this is the best market I've ever. This is the market I've been waiting for the past 10 years.
This is
I love
the market that we've been waiting for, and this is what really confuses me, is because this is what, especially like investors, this is what their dreams would be on a call with us. And here we are, dream makers now. And they're like struggling to push the button to go. We're like, hey, it's here. This is what you've been
Well, you know
asking.
what we forgot to
that.
forecast?
Hmm.
There were going to be dream crashers.
There we go.
What does that
If
mean?
we just shift the lane from watching dream crashers to dream makers, we have an open road ahead.
Mm.
So,
Hmm.
I think here's one thing I would say we need to probably take a step back on. I think one of the skills that we underestimate with our career is that how important it is for us to create alignment with our people. What we are often doing is what I see happening all the time is that this is the property, this is the price, this is the market, make an offer, right? It's almost like we're wanting people to say yes when they're not feeling safe in the moment, right? I think when people feel alignment, what they silently feel in their nervous system is that I'm safe with this decision, right?
Yeah.
And in compliance, I often see it's almost like obedience with a kitchen timer taped to it. It breathes as long as you're in the room, and the moment you leave, it suffocates, and they don't do what's supposed to be done because the fear hijacks them. But when people really feel aligned in their goals, in their intent with the person working with them, rather than working like one of my mentors, coach, told me early on. They said, Rosie, always do this quick energy test in your brain when you're working with someone. If you're in a conversation, in a deal, or in a business, if you're doing something to someone, the body will speed up, the voice will will rise higher, and and you will just naturally sell harder.
Yeah.
But when you're doing something with someone, it's almost like the exhale arrives at the right time.
Yeah.
There is a relaxation, there is no rush, there is a true alignment, and the other person feels safe. So I think one of the conversations that we have pivoted in this market is that we're asking our people three major questions. Number one, what will make you feel safe and heard right now? Like, I don't want to ignore that your brain is not consuming information, because the moment you're going to leave here, people who are going to talk in your ear who have never done anything in real estate, they're going to give you the real estate advice, right? So tell me, what is it that you're hearing so I can make you feel safe and heard? So that's number one. Number two, we are asking them, what proof do you need in the next few days from us to move forward in the right direction? And number three, we are asking, what is 6 months to a year regret that you're trying to avoid?
You know,
This was
yeah.
alignment.
We just got back from an appointment. Before this call, we were sitting down with some friends of ours who are thinking about buying some real estate. And the interesting thing is, I remember a moment when I was sitting down, and it was a moment of presence. Like presence came over me, like, which is like, you're in the moment, you're like, wow, like you can feel everything, you know? And I think that only happens when you don't have a motive in the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, my idea is to serve my friend and make sure that we're friends. We've been friends for several years, and this is the first time he's using our services in real estate. And it was I'd like to maintain my friendship because we were friends before business, and I want to remain friends after business. And so, but there's amount of detachment from it. It's the right thing will happen.
It's
And
it was funny when we were having a conversation at the brunch with our friends who are going to be our clients too. And Roger and I were talking, and there was this one point, it just landed. I said, look, there's evidence right in front of us to move forward with making the right decision. And if somebody chooses not to, it's their choice.
yeah,
We're not here to make it happen. And the
please,
moment we said that, they started laughing and they're like, we're tuned in. They said, what do we do next? They felt heard.
I felt
And
that.
I think our profession, our career, and anybody in our career is just learning a version or a variation of what we do. They all are taught connection dressed up as compliance.
We're in Austin, so we can talk about this. I feel like it's good. It's okay. But anyways, I like to learn about other cultures, and I was watching this Rastafarian guy from Jamaica explain the culture of Jamaica, and and he said something beautiful. He was talking about the uncorrupted soul, and I had to pause and just I stepped away and started thinking about it, and I said, "What is an uncorrupted soul?" And I was thinking it's someone who has no attachment to anything. They don't have any attachment to anything. They're just going to speak the truth. They're going to speak what's on their heart. They're able to be themselves. They're comfortable in their own skin, and they don't have a motive. And that was really inspiring to me, though, just the way he phrased it. And I was thinking that should be brought into business. Can you imagine the business world being exposed to that level of thinking and caring? And it also means you scoot your chair in and you're able to say or communicate things that otherwise people would be afraid to because they don't want to lose the business or this or that or whatever. And
100%. 100%. Like, let's come out real. Early on in our business, until we really established a good bottom line, it was all about our trainings were, if you're not getting a nod, chasing a yes, or squeezing a signature out of someone, you don't have a skill and you don't have business.
yeah, I
Actually, you know what?
remember.
They would say you don't have business because you don't have the skill,
Yeah,
which is a harder hit.
I remember talking to a client, and there was like a broker or something, or someone helping the brokerage, and he was listening to my call. He just happened to be, I didn't know he was listening. And he came off the call. When I came off the call, he was like, dude, you could have closed them. And it was the most tackiest, most disgusting feeling ever. And I was like, and that sat with me for a very long time.
Yeah, and I
Christiana,
think okay.
Hmm?
I was just gonna say that probably like if you don't even feel like safe, right? Because you're not helping them feel safe, then
Yeah,
like you're not gonna help someone feel safe and heard and significant if you yourself can't feel that because you're being pushed in a certain way. Rosie,
yeah,
you just said something a minute ago. You said like something about exhale, like
Yeah,
they exhale. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were talking about like how they could tell if like on Married at First Sight that there's like a show or something like that if they could tell if a relationship was going to last by one thing. If when the bride was walking down the aisle, the husband turned and said and they inhaled, it wasn't going to last. But if they turned and they went and exhaled, they knew that it was going to last forever because they felt like relief.
they exilarize that I'm safe. Like you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said our presence should write the scene for people. We should bring so much
isn't
safety.
there another one where
They
you make
relax.
a
That so glad you're here. Wow. Like you're here, like my shoulders drop and my breath just exhaled. Inhaled it means that I just gasped air because I'm like, oh, hold on, I'm suffocated. Let me just breathe in. But
isn't
if
there
you
another one
are, yeah,
sorry, isn't there another one? It's a bird chirp. You heard about that one?
Mm-mm.
Like you chirp like a bird, and then if your wife chirps back, you're like, okay, this is safe. Like we're gonna be married for a very long time.
Never heard.
Okay, I just recently came across my
oh Lord
radar.
God, like where are you reading this stuff, honey? I'm afraid you're gonna make a TikTok post and somebody's gonna call me and say, I love your husband's videos. Do you chirp?
No, no, no. We won't do that. We won't
No,
do.
I have full faith in your ability. And by the way, on that uncorrupted soul, can I have a little bit of fun here?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
I think, please, if anybody is looking for uncorrupted soul, your marriage should be probably the last place where you want to seek that. Because in marriage, there are expectations. And when
That's
they're not met,
Good to know.
don't
Good.
laugh like you don't have any Brie.
oh no, I do. I got in trouble the other day because
You got in trouble the other day.
I didn't realize that I was being so mean, but I was like, dude, I asked you to do something and he hadn't done what I asked him to do. And he was like, so you're saying I don't do anything? And I'm like, no, I know you do everything, but like you didn't do the one thing I asked you to do.
He didn't put the toilet seat down.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm
He
kidding.
didn't return the Amazon box.
no, he didn't put the wallpaper up that I wanted him to do.
Oh, that's a
That
talent. That's a my mom used to do
for
that.
4 weeks.
It's funny how those things work.
Those things go on my wish list. They don't go on my necessity list.
Yeah, he's like, I cook and clean every day. So what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I told you I would cook and I would semi-clean.
You won't like the way I clean.
Or cook.
I think that's the real issue.
He's like, just stay off
I
of
don't want to
this.
say it.
I want to eat good and sleep good.
He's like, what's this gravy stuff?
Roger?
Oh,
Anyways, so where we were going with this was, yeah, I think what people are really needing right now to really get out of this, break the pattern with this noise, is to find true alignment with the people they're working with. And I think now more than ever is more important for us as experts and leaders in whatever industry we're working in, that we have this natural skill to allow people to break away from this pattern and create space that they feel safe and heard. And I think more and more, we had this great call with our investors this past week. And I think one of the questions we walked away was that it's more important today to know, who are you? What do you consistently do? And what do people feel from you? And if these three questions are clear in your mind, then you would not have any problem in creating safety in other people. And I think, yep. And I think this is business.
You
And
know,
what I really enjoy about business? I think business is the only place that I personally get the most opportunity to deal with people. And I think what I really enjoy is working with people and seeing the transformation from fear to trust, fear to trust, fear to trust. And it's fascinating. It's
I have
interesting.
something to add here. It's really fascinating to me. I haven't read the book, but it's Fetch Wood and Carry Water or something like this, right? And so this guy goes in for samurai training, and the idea is that he's fetching wood and carrying water, and he gets frustrated because he doesn't know how it relates to being a samurai. And so I think traditionally, if we're talking about real estate, we should be talking about the numbers and all these things. But at the core of it, can we have a conversation with the person sitting across the table, and can we get to the core of what it is that's important to us? Like, what if I came to you, Bree, and I said, I want to buy an investment, but I want to make sure I don't F up. And I can clearly say that without, it's
But
just
do we
like,
even know? Do we even know what F up means to them?
Right.
no, exact. And then I trust that we can create that space together. Like,
Yeah,
I trust that Bree would say, well, what's effing up mean to you?
mean to
And I'm
you.
able to elaborate on
Because,
it
because
because
a
that,
lot of people assume F ups. They think F up means that, oh, I could have bought even cheaper.
and
That's
that
not
person's
always the
at the
case.
same pace with me, right? Like, there's a conversation happening. And so it fascinates me. It always fascinates me how a lot of the business conversations that we have, uh, a good percentage of them are something aside from business. I don't know what to call. I don't know what it is. Oh, we were watching a movie the other day, and they said, "Okay, let's get down to business." And the guy goes, "This is business." They were socializing or something. Do you remember? We were watching.
Oh, I remember. Let's get to business. They said this is business. For
Yeah,
me to know everything about you is business.
is business. But you would. That's the same concept of fetching water,
You know what
chocolate.
fascinates me? When people tell me that, you know what, I don't know if this matters to me because I'm not even business. I'm not even a business person. I'm not even a salesperson. And I feel like, first of all, congratulations to our society for really butchering the word business and sales, right? Because they've just ripped all character and joy out of it, the way they use it. When I see people on the training stages with their neck nerves popping out as if they're about to have a heart attack and they teach sales, no wonder nobody wants to do that. Who wants to get a heart attack while selling something? We should not be selling anything to anyone at all any time. What we should be selling is how we should be presenting ourselves with what we are and what we are interested and obsessed with because of how it works. And if it resonates, resistance disappears and people naturally make decision. If I'm having to sell something, it means I don't I'm myself trying to convince on this.
Yeah,
Selling should not be, it should be just telling a story of what your experience was and what it did. And if somebody's looking for the similar solution, they just automatically come to you and we're done, deal done. I think that's selling.
yeah.
Agreed.
I think there's a popular culture these days around, and I think the general public is well aware of what's happening. It's called objection handling. So the guy, he does like social media skits, and his girlfriend says, "I'm breaking up with you," and he goes, "Okay, other than breaking up with me, is there anything else?" And it's so tacky.
It's so tacky, right?
Huh?
And in our business, you know what they taught us early on? And they said, okay, what is a good reason you're not moving forward? Price? Okay. Other than price, is there any other reason why you can't move forward with the decision to buy a home now?
Great, let's sign the paperwork.
Hold on. Hold on. But why is price the issue?
Yeah.
Why is price the issue? Because, okay, why are we window shopping rather than decision shopping?
Hmm.
Mhm.
What is holding you back from putting that lens on and making a decision and writing an offer? What is stopping you from categorizing it? Like, I've completely failed at that if we didn't do it. Yeah, today was an interesting day.
I
It's
think
very
that
interesting.
um, you know that saying, it's like they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I think we've gotten out of the in general as a society, we got out of the way of like asking true meaningful questions because we're scared of what the answer can be, or we don't want to come across as like too like weird or inquisitive. But like, and I know we were talking about like curiosity, but like, remember the saying that we learned as a kid, curiosity killed the cat?
Yeah.
So we're ingrained to think that being curious is a bad thing. But if we just threw that away and we really did become curious, then I think that we would see a big shift in the relationships that we have, and what we're able to get out of people and
Yeah.
collaborate with people.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
I was, it's fascinating you said that, Brie, and I was talking to our people today, right? And, and I was looking at them today, and I remember the moment they sat down, there was this foggy gaze, like, what am I looking at? What am I going to do? Like, uncertainty, like everything was uncertain. And as I was starting to talk, right, I remember telling the guy, I was like, you know what? Once the food comes in, it's hard to talk. Let's get to business now. He's like, that's fine. I said, is it okay with you? He said, yeah, that's perfectly fine. And as we were talking, I was not at all, because by the time your body knows it, your body knows way before your mind catches it, right? And as I was looking at them, the moment I saw him disappear in a thought, I didn't have to worry about my next question. I think my favorite things that I've learned from my really good mentors is have curiosity so intense that you forget the next line. And if you forgot the next line to say, congratulations, you remembered the human. And to me,
I forgot what I was going to say. No, I'm kidding. I literally did, though. I literally did. I forgot what I was going to say. Felt good.
hmm, hmm, I forgot to.
Then you're
I
curious.
remember now.
So
No,
this
it's.
is pick it up to guys. This is
I
real
think,
estate.
I think it's about cross discipline too, right? So, like Rosie, as you were saying, you said, "Well, no, I'm not in business, so it's okay. Like, I don't want to interrupt. Like, there's this idea that this doesn't apply to me, but at the core of everything is the same. So when we're in these situations, we get to learn something that we least expected.
So
That's
I
the
remember I was talking to the couple that were looking to buy a property, right? And I was looking at the husband, I was looking at the wife, and looking at the husband, and I just went to those three questions. I say, there is with so much going on, it's so hard to make a decision. What will make you feel safe and confident that you're on the right track? They talked. And I said, okay, what do you need to see in next few days as a proof so that you know you're on the right track? And they told me exactly what it is. And then I said, and those were the questions coming straight from the husband. I can tell that wife was waiting for something deeper. And then I said, what is the regret you're trying to avoid from happening in 6 months to a year? She said, I want property in our own name, owned by both of us, so we can do anything to it at any time.
Hmm.
I said, now that is what we're going to build a solution on.
now we have something to
Now
work
we
with.
have something, right?
Now
So
we have
all
a-
the solutions and strategies I gave them, it just went out of the water.
Mhm.
Like I think what we have to embody from here on is that our society trained us to become great at hesitating, and we call it strategy. And we become great at hoping, and we call it optimism or positive mindset. But hesitating is not going to give you the right solution. And then we call people that, you know what, we got a nod, they said yes, but they later on vanish. Why do they vanish? Because you were always chasing compliance. You were not daring to be in touch with reality so deep that they feel significant, safe, and heard with you. And I think it happens because somewhere people are not in touch with their own reality. They have not slowed down and asked themselves, is what they're about to offer truly the right thing for people to do? Because they're afraid if they find out it has been not the right thing to do, it means they have been wrong all along.
Mm-hmm.
So waking up in the morning and asking yourself, I told these guys, I said, don't waste your time by filling out applications with lenders and stuff like that. It's not going to work for you. Even if you have a career for next 2 years in a row, you're going to have to hit a certain income mark to do that. But you have funds and you have motivation and desire to do this. I think the only way out, I think, I listen to Gary Kasparov a lot. I read a lot of his books. Actually, I read the same book so many times. How about that? I don't read a lot of his books. There are not many books from him. So he's a famous chess champion. He says, if we take this to chessboard, amateurs celebrate premature fireworks. Small win. What does that look like? I got a head nod. They signed the paper. Yay, right? And then he says the contrast is the champions, they chase positioning because positioning beats prediction. So when your chess pieces are all aligned and your squares are dominating, you are narrowing the other person down to that one move that you always wanted to create for them. And in business, that one move is that exit that creates the relief. This is not force, this is framing. So in a conversation, how in tune are you with the other person that you're forgetting everything you know, and you're slowly moving the pieces and aligning them until you get to that one point. I said, okay, you know what? This is not going to happen until it is their autonomous decision to own a property all the way. So all the strategies went out of the roof. Only one strategy was left. Decision made. Resistance gone. Now we get to work. Otherwise, what are we doing? Ping pong? Like, I threw it in, they did not respond. Follow up. No pickup. And one day, magically we aligned. And we call it, this is what it takes to sell. Okay. Was this a helpful conversation today? I don't know what even talked about. I think we talked about
it's funny because we had numbers pulled up, and this is something we haven't talked about ever. So I think it was nice. What do you think, Bree?
Yeah, I thought it was an important conversation to have. And I think it gives, number one, us a chance to rediscover, but also for everyone listening, a chance to really discover who we are at our core and what we're about. So I'm thankful for the conversation today.
Yeah. The pace is a healthy pace, it starts with some curiosity, wanting to know more, delving in deeper, figuring things out together. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But so
I was going to deliver something, but
what's that?
I was going to say something, but the time wasn't aligning with what we needed to say.
Yeah, that's right. It's a lot of exciting things going on. I mean, even now with commercial, have you driven down and seen the shields being constructed in Cedar Park? It's huge. They got all these cranes up.
Wait, are you talking about by Whole Foods, by the HEB Center?
Yeah.
I was just over there Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is going by so fast.
It's huge. It's much bigger than what I imagined. I mean, to actually see it.
Really, I can't wait till it's done. I want to go ride that Ferris wheel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the Costco and Target off of 29 and Ronald Reagan. That's pretty cool. Bless you.
Oh yeah. So guys, we provided a lot of value today on the call. Rosie, kick it off.
Well, you can't say it now. You gotta wait more seconds.
So 40 minutes and 4 seconds of great
Yeah.
value today. And I'm excited that we get to do this, and I'm looking forward to what lies ahead next week. Thank you so
Don't
much.
forget Coffee Social.
Coffee Social on Friday. You're going to get the invite and the email. It's a very private moment we spend with our people one-on-one. Whatever we talked about, imagine going 10 times deeper on what the real life application looks like. So if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
interested, come on in. Let's have
And
great
it's not called
conversation.
Coffee Social. It's called FML, Friday Morning Live.
It's called Friday Morning Live. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't make your other meaning off what Gen Z and millennials do. So thank you so much and looking forward
Guys,
to it,
wow.
guys.
Love
Take
y'all.
care.
Bye.
Bye.